Hello, I'm Robbie Long and I own Pronghorn Precision Gun Shop. We had this rifle come into the shop. It's a Winchester Model 270 22 long rifle, pump or actually slide action rifle. This is a very well worn rifle. It's seen a lot of use and abuse through the years. Lots of these were made in the 1950s and 1960s. Popular. Lots of households had these. We wanted to do a complete takedown, pull some maintenance, and do an ultrasonic cleaning on this rifle. And when we got into it, we could not find anything in the manual or any of our research books or on the internet past the trigger group removal to get to the bolt. We couldn't figure out how to get the slide off. It was really tricky. So I got with my buddy John at Flying V Photography. We decided to do a video for you folks and maybe help you out if you've got one of these and might possibly have it apart or are wanting to take it apart for a deep cleaning. So we'll go ahead and get into that. We're going to do a complete takedown start to finish, and we will do a reassembly on the same video. So the first thing, this gun has been checked open for safety. This is not a safety video, but we'll let everybody know that. It's a tubular fed magazine, so you need to go ahead, remove the feed rod there, take that out. Next thing that we will do is we'll go ahead and remove the butt plate. I'll get some of these larger components off, then we'll change camera angle and give you a real good shot when we get down into the slide and the bolt carrier group. That way you can really see what's going on. That's where it gets tricky. So it's going to be a 1/2 inch bolt up inside of the butt. Butt stock, and that takes us right down to our trigger group. We'll go ahead and regroup here. I'm gonna have to put my eyes on and we'll get the camera reset and be right back. Okay, so that's the stock. Butt stock has been removed. You can see where that piece went in right there. The next thing is going to do is remove the trigger assembly. I found it easiest to go ahead and have the slide about half open. Go ahead and push out your pin right here. Might need to tap on it just a hair. Like I say, this one obviously has been apart already. If you encounter one that you got from your grandpa or your dad, probably going to be a little bit harder. This is a poly pin right here, just a polymer pin that's in there. And you can slide the slide forward, work your trigger group back. If you notice right here on the end, there's a small indexing type pin that fits in a hole right there in the action body. Okay, now one would think that you're very close to being able to remove this slide piece. That is not the case. If you're looking down in here, you raise your slide piece. That will allow you, let me get you a good look in there. Here's your slide piece right here. You need to raise that, and you need to remove the bolt carrier group to the rear. This is a piece of it here. This is actually the small pin that catches in the groove on the slide. I can kind of show you how that works once we get it out a little better. Okay, set those to the side. Now, we would think that if you would slide the slide forward, it would come out. That's where the trouble lied. We could find no info on this. So what we found out is in order to do this, you actually have to remove the magazine tube. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to go towards the muzzle. There's a small pin right here. That pin needs to come out. I'm going to tap it out from the other side. There we go. Now, you set the rifle in a little cradle, and you're just going to have to work this out of here. On first look, this piece right in here almost looks like maybe this tube is soldered to the barrel, kind of like on a double-barreled shotgun or something like that. That is not the case. This is just a small piece of vinyl. It's very fragile. This gun was really dirty, so it was hard to tell when I first took it apart that there was even that even came apart. That being said, we'll just set this up. Might have to work it a little bit. Might have to get a punch and kind of give it a little help. There we go. Okay, magazine tube slides forward. There's your magazine tube. Lay that aside. Now you can remove this small eye-shaped, if you will, piece of vinyl. I found it to be exactly the same size on each end. However, we will index knowing that that end goes towards the muzzle. Now, that will allow you to go ahead and remove your foregrip or slide. If you look in these, like I say, these are older, 1950s, 1960s. I'm not sure of the manufacturer's date to be exact, and I didn't do homework on that, but it's old. So when you look in here, you're going to see cracks, the bottom's cracked. So these are pretty fragile. I did happen to see quite a few of these available online, different places. So if you break one, there's definitely a fix for it. But when you do pull it off, you just want to be real careful with it. Be pretty delicate with it. So that takes you down to pretty much what we're going to call here a full takedown. Now, we'll just need to put it back together. So, in a reverse order, we're just going to take the slide, the forearm grip, and obviously turn it the right way. Set it on top of the barrel. Then we will take the magazine tube. Need to make sure we put a little oil on here. A little lubrication will definitely help. This has already been lubricated because I've had this apart to learn how to do it. You can see a small, I'm going to call it a fin, and then there's a mark right here where the keeper pin is going to go. So you need to get all that lined up. With that slot right there. Okay. So as you slide it in, you'll stop right about there. Go ahead. I indexed this to the front. We're going to put this little eye piece in of polymer, and it'll slide into the forearm. Slide it back underneath the mag tube. Slide it back forward. We're going to come on down with this, sliding it on in. You're going to feel the fin push into the small groove that I showed you earlier, and you will have to hold down on the back of that and possibly give it a small tap in order to index this hole right here for your keeper pin, which came out from this side, so we know it's going to go in from this side. You just get your pinch block up there. All right, next, and you can see certainly on this video, this piece of polymer is cracked right here. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the way it was when it came out. Tried to put a little dab of glue on it. It did not work. So that's just the way it is. That's a pretty fragile piece. I did not find this piece in any of my books, suppliers, or online. Okay, reverse order. Going to roll the rifle around. You're looking in there. First thing we're going to do, pull the forearm back, slide back, and we are going to move that out of the way. We are going to lift right there, lift that arm up. Better back up. The bolt carrier is in two pieces. So this fits right in here on top of this bolt carrier. Got a little extra oil on there. Wipe some of that off from the ultrasonic oiler. Okay. This piece right here, this little round pin, if you will, it's not actually a pin, it's a protrusion off of the bolt carrier. That's what's going to catch into the slide rail and make this firearm operable. So, once again, you need to raise that rail. You're going to go ahead and very gently slide that in underneath the rail. And if you can see, probably right there, there is a groove in this that's going to accept that pin I just showed you. Kind of hard to see there. John does a great job here of catching this, but sometimes my fat fingers are in the way. Okay, now you can see that that arm is down, and it is moving the bolt carrier group right there. So we'll go ahead and slide the bolt carrier group almost all the way forward. We will take the trigger group assembly. Remember, we have an indexing pin right there on the front, which needs to go in this hole right up here on the front of the receiver. So you're going to start that in. You're going to find a happy medium. It's going to slide down. See, we've got a gap there. Do not force. Just slightly wiggle it and it'll slide forward. After that, we're going to roll around, take and look in this hole. Use a flashlight if you need to. And this hole is where this polymer pin that we took out in the beginning is going to go. Like I said, this is already lubed up. If it wasn't, you'd want to put a little lube on this. You can usually just push this in almost all the way. If not, give it a little tap with your mallet. Okay, there we are. Now, it's safe to go ahead and try to operate your slide. go ahead, push slide release up, and go back forward. Back and forward. We know it's operating, so we'll go ahead, return the buttstock. I will show you on the buttstock. When we took this off, this is threaded on both ends. There's a 1/2 inch, it fits a 1/2 socket, I should say, castle nut on here. So most likely that piece is not going to back off. This is going to back off up out of the receiver, which is probably their intentions when they made it with that castle nut on there. That being said, you can just go ahead and drop this in your buttstock, rattle it through. I like to start everything by hand. So I'm going to get my socket ready right there. I'm going to go ahead and line this up here. You can see where it goes in there. Kind of get it ready. I'm not going to push the buttstock all the way up yet. I'm going to reach in. I can feel that threaded bolt turning. And as I turn it, where I'm going to be watching is right here in this crack. I want to make sure that I'm pretty well lined up here. If not, it can give you problems later. So just nice and snug with my hands till I get to a point where I will need my ratchet, which is about, oh, not there yet. Okay, we're getting there, getting there. Okay, we're snug. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. I'm gonna go ahead and feel of it. Use my fingers instead of just my eyes. Go ahead and make sure we're married up there nice and clean. All right, we'll go ahead and snug it up. Now we can get a little bit wider angle. We'll put the butt plate back on, return the magazine tube, and see what we've got. Okay, we're putting on the butt plate here. Just so you know, whenever you put these butt plates on, you really want to wax these coarse wood screws that go through the butt plate. That's pretty important. Any kind of car wax or furniture wax will work. But if you don't, you run a pretty good risk of splitting your wood out. Okay, we'll go ahead, install our magazine rod here, put it in, we'll roll her over, push slide release, fully functional. I do not like to dry fire rim fires, but however, for the sake of the video, you can see that it's fully operational. There you have it. The Winchester Model 270 slide action 22 long rifle firearm. Complete takedown and reassembly. I'm Robbie with Pronghorn Precision. I'd like to say thank you to Flying V Photography. See you next time.